This podcast is intended for adults only. We do not condone the use of any illegal substances, and anything we consume is for educational purposes only.
Because, we should be afraid of a plant that grows from the ground. And, endocannabinoid system is, it's in your body and it produces cannabinoids. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna rant. Just play the music, Mitch.
I drove 6 states, never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, do the enterprise, move supersize. Y'all lecture like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize. Yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We know how you see in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our songs should have more plays, but we too dope, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.
You're listening to the Canna podcast, where we are cultivating conversations concerning cannabis, culture, and creativity. I'm Mitch Narito.
And I am Eric Esteban. And I am not and will not be bamboozled by the Marijuana Herald's story that not my President Trump is going to be descheduling cannabis.
So that means he's going to make it legal?
He's going to deschedule it. Remember how we talked about in past episodes the difference between rescheduling and keeping it on the schedule of drugs, and therefore making it able for the pharmaceutical company to take over the cannabis industry in ways they already have like a infrastructure set up, or descheduling, meaning it is legalized and it is no longer part of the schedule of drugs.
What is it right now? Is it class 1?
It is class 1, same as cocaine and crack cocaine and all the
ketamine?
Other ketamine and heroin and all the other stuff. Because I think, if I'm not, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think Biden ended up, he was talking about rescheduling it and then didn't.
Yeah, like the last news that we had was, they were going to reschedule it. So from class 1 to something less severe. That's
right, but federally it is still right now.
Yeah, it hasn't moved
still
forward.
Schedule 1 right now.
Yeah.
And so what my Marijuana Herald, I want to say the Miami Herald because that's the actual paper, but there's a Marijuana Herald.
Okay.
And they are reporting that Trump is floating the idea of rescheduling or descheduling. See how it's confusing, but descheduling cannabis and just legalizing it federally across the board.
I have not.
Over the summer, right before the November midterms.
So people forget to just
distraction. To distract from the distraction of the Iran war, to distract from the Epstein files. So we would try to distract, and he was like, "Here, how about this? How about smoke some weed? Maybe that will make you forget."
Has there been any like secondary confirmation from anyone, or is it just the Marijuana?
It's just
Herald?
the Marijuana Herald, and then everybody's kind of ran with the story. So that could be, a Trump supporter floating out a story of distraction. It could be a whole bunch of different things.
I don't know. I'm gonna need a couple more outlets to pick that up before.
But since after my surveillance of my regular my peoples that I've been watching and listening to, and how I've learned how to grow cannabis from on the internet in the YouTube university that is the cannabis community that I watch. A lot of people are talking about this, and a lot of people have a lot to say about it. So I figured we'd open up episode 53 with a little discussion of this, because in a lot of ways, the people who are fully against marijuana and cannabis in our country are fighting their last fight. Because there's very few, the surveys all around the country are 80-20 on this. Everybody wants to legalize cannabis.
This is my take. This has no basis on any facts, but this is just my observation, right? Like, I think that a lot of these anti-cannabis groups, right, like before we've heard it's big tobacco or it's alcohol. It's all of these things that it's the pharmacies like big pharma. Like it's always the folks that
already have control of the situation.
Yeah, and like I think that at this point they're just trying to buy themselves some time so they can get in on it, because I guarantee you that like big tobacco, they already have like packages of pre-rolls like ready to like roll out once it like all pops off, right? Like you'll see like Camels and freaking
it's what that ends up being is some of the out-of-state actors and the bigger cannabis companies, if you dig deep enough into their ownership and into the different corporations that make up their whole corporation, a lot of them are tied to all those companies and all those different. Everything is all a big. It's all. What did George Carlin say? It's all a club, and you ain't in it.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what it boils down to.
No, I guarantee you that Marlboro already has like packs of pre-rolls ready to like ship out to 7-Eleven once it all becomes legalized. Any of the anti cannabis like people from like the alcohol
They've
sector
already got their formulations down pat for the cannabis drinks that will
the
fuck
THC,
you up.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they've already got that. All big pharma, like they stand to lose the most money because they can't do all of the stuff that cannabis can naturally with the least amount of side effects. You know what I mean? We were talking about
the ease of access.
Yeah.
Because another article that I was reading online concerning this whole topic was that a lot of elderly patients that relied on the dispensaries the past couple of years because of all the different legislation and how confusing it is in their state, depending on if you're in a legal state, medical state, whatever it is, recreational state, all the different things, all these older people, and I guess I would include myself in that because I'm 52 now, but a lot of older people are getting rid of the dispensary and starting to learn how to grow their own. There's a new movement of growing their own in as far as these older people who probably grow their own tomatoes and all their own, they're doing gardening anyway, they're deciding to now grow their own cannabis. And there's a new grow at home movement that's growing with all the different questions and concerns that are coming with the new cannabis and how it's either accepted and or criminalized or whatever it is, because we don't really know. It's kind of up in the air. Because like you said, that's one story in the Miami or
Marijuana Herald.
The Marijuana Herald.
And that's like, okay, so like mainstream media, like, and I'm just looking it up right now. I just Googled because I wanted to look up the last CNN headline that they put out with regards to marijuana. And dude, CNN is low key anti-marijuana.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. I feel it is.
They are totally anti-marijuana.
See here. Okay, so these are the last headlines, right? So March 16th, 2026. Scientists say marijuana doesn't ease anxiety or any mental health issues.
I can personally say bullshit.
Okay, June 17th, 2025. Marijuana use dramatically increases risk of dying from heart attacks and stroke.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, marijuana.
That is clickbait, if nothing else.
Let's see, April 20th.
Just so you can comment that this article is bullshit in the comment section.
Yeah, and then let's see, April 20th, so 4/20/2025, right?
On our sacred holiday.
Marijuana hospital visits linked to dementia diagnosis within 5 years.
And then what do the cannabis actual doctors and scientific researchers say about cognitive and actually cognition goes up and doesn't diminish, and it prevents the onset of dementia. But that's it's basically a 180 argument to what's actually being reported in a lot of the studies that are happening in as far as with prolonged marijuana use.
Here, May 5th, 2025, marijuana is extremely dangerous to fetus in the womb. A lot of shit is dangerous to fetus in the womb, I feel.
And to be honest, again, I wonder if that article once mentions the endocannabinoid system that is in every human being's body. That's the thing that people are always. That's the one thing that I'm waiting for one of these doctors. Like I listen to a lot of doctors. Like you know what? I want to go online and give them a shout out. And actually, you know what? No, I'm not even going to do that because I keep saying stuff about reaching out to folks, and I want you guys to tag folks in our Instagram who we should talk to on our next video or on our videos.
Dude, check this out. Okay, so there's more. This is not even the all of the first page for like the Google search.
CNN is bullshit.
No, it is. But okay, here. So December 29th, 2025. Your mouth on weed is nothing to smile about. Smoking marijuana can increase cavities, tooth loss, and risk of oral cancers. Let's see. September 9th, 2025. Marijuana may cause chromosomal defects in human egg cells, study finds. December 2nd.
CNN be just putting shit out there.
Dude,
at
December.
This point.
Dude,
What are the years on this?
This is the last 2 years.
Jesus Christ.
Here, this is December. This one's the best. December 2nd, 2025. Scromiting. A bizarre condition linked to chronic marijuana use is on the rise. Explosive vomiting combined with screaming after marijuana use is called scromiting.
How do you vomit and scream at the same time?
No. You scream like it's combined. It's not at the same time. It's just
scromiting. So you're like, ah!
No, you're not doing it at the same time. It's just like you're just being loud, and then you're just like, ah, blah, you know, like I don't know. I feel that.
Why did we make up that word? Did CNN?
This is CNN.
CNN may be making up words called scromiting. Yeah, and you know what? You know what I would describe? You know what I would describe CNN's news feed? Scromiting. It's a bunch of screaming vomit. That's all that. Every single headline that you wrote is scromiting to me.
No, but
I love it.
May 28, 2025. Marijuana edibles and joints may cause early heart damage.
Oh my Lord,
dude, that's crazy. There's not like.
Well, yeah. I mean, mainstream media and all these other people, they're being bought and sold by where? By the same companies that we were talking about earlier, pharmaceuticals. What ads do you see when you don't pay the premium on all the streaming services? What ad did I keep seeing? Something about eczema, a whole bunch of eczema ads where they showed samples of people's skin and eczema.
They don't
and I'm
even.
like, I want to skip this so badly. Like back in our day when they would show commercials on regular TV, at least the commercials were appealing and you could you would like to watch them.
It's
now
like
it's like, ugh,
it's nothing related. It's nothing
like,
related.
Hey, do you have explosive diarrhea? Here's some pictures of explosive diarrhea to see if you have it. Oh, it's gross.
No, there's no correlation between what's going on in a pharmaceutical
commercial.
And
then you got the motherfuckers with the erectile dysfunction taking bathtubs on a hill.
Yeah.
Taking baths on a hill. That don't even make sense.
They're playing pickleball. I
don't even understand it. Commercials today don't make any sense. That's why I end up paying for the premium. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. Look at that. See, you thought you wouldn't get weed conspiracies on the Canna Kuyas? You got them right there.
It's not so much of a conspiracy. Like,
it's horrible.
It's just manipulation. Like, I'm not gonna say like. I'm not going to be one of those people that marijuana is like the all time. You know, it's like the number one or whatever. Like, it's like a health whatever.
I am. No, here's what I'll say. All the you can study all the different studies that you can against it, and you'll find studies that will probably be a 180 argument against those conclusions. So there's and then you could say that of almost everything on the internet at this point. There's people who will tell you that caffeine is terrible for you. And then there'll people that will say it will unlock parts of your brain and it'll help you. So there's so many different things that will say yay or nay. At this point, I'm going to stick with something that human beings have been consuming for thousands of years. And only since the past 80 years, 100 years has it been demonized because of all the things we discuss on this podcast to begin with. It's been demonized only because of the people who are demonizing it now are the same people who are their grandfathers and great grandfathers were the same people who were demonizing it back then.
Yeah,
it's so for me, I only go from my own personal experience with cannabis, which has been since I was 16 years old. And some of that weed in Chicago that I was smoking, I'm sure was not the highest of quality, right? Or even some of the weed that I first started smoking when I first started growing, when I first started coming here, and when I moved here, and also when I first started growing. The weed that I first started, when I first started, my first couple of harvests were not great. But now, where I am now, where I'm at now is, you know, I mean, I'm at a point now where I do not hesitate to call myself a cannabis guru, someone who knows a lot about cannabis and has experienced a lot within his own body and even within my mom who passed away recently, like the last 3 weeks of her life. And I know I've probably said this story a couple times in the past couple episodes, just because it's, you know, just happened recently, but my mom stopped taking all the cancer drugs, and she was just like, give me the cannabis oil. That's all I want, because it's the only thing that makes me feel better. And so I only go for my own personal, interactions with this plant and with this medicine, because it's been a medicine for thousands of years, but it's also been a medicine in my life for my whole life. So for me, I'm always going to defend it, and I'm going to be at a point with it where, well, I mean, that's why we have this podcast, right? That's why I grow it every day, and every day in the morning, you know, like the reason why I bring up the article about the older people moving towards growing versus spending money, and especially because I know as myself as an older person, I don't like to deal with all the bullshit. We've had conversations about how there are things that we will do in the entertainment industry, and then there's some things I'm just like, I'm good. I'd rather just chill at home.
No, and that's how.
Go ahead.
No, that's how I feel about marijuana. Like for my own personal view for myself too. I enjoy the plant a lot. I like what it does for me. I like how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the stigma that is still surrounding it.
It's horrible, but at the same time, it's a stigma that's only been around for, like I said, 100, not even 100 years.
Like, I wish I could be just like completely outright open with it, you know, but I always have to temper myself, because there's like certain situations where it's like, I don't want everyone knowing that I do this all the time, you know, like,
yeah.
If people want to get to know me well enough, they'll be like, oh, he smokes, you know, but
sure.
I don't.
Well, and I think with like any medicine, you know, like there are people who are on blood pressure medicine that aren't about to like tell people that they meet on the street, oh, I'm about to take this drug. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily something that's your personal thing that you do for yourself to make yourself feel better. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to necessarily share that with everybody that you meet, and be public about it. I am a public advocate for it, because I'm a grower and I do all the things. You don't have to be as public as me, and part of the reason why you are my partner in this podcast is because you can provide that different point of view, because I am a different, you know, if you go for me, I'm too liberal when it comes to this stuff. Like I said, I look at myself as growing into becoming a really like a cannabis guru and someone to go to and ask how to grow good weed and how to, you know, am I there yet? Of course not. Life is a journey, but every seed you plant is a journey. But
I'm a not so secret pothead, you know, like. A lot of people look at me.
You're the first Filipino American to hold a bong on national television. Does he smoke? Maybe he smoke. I don't know, but don't tell me if you do. That's basically what it is, bro.
Yeah. It's like I just don't do it in front of certain people. That's all.
Your mom.
Well, like anyone in my family.
Because your mom, we know your mom doesn't listen to this podcast. That's why we can talk about it.
She's probably heard it at some point. Honestly, my mom probably knows, but out of respect, I just don't say anything, and she appreciates that. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
And you know, and and again, my interaction with my mom, and even now my dad, like, because now my dad, it's great because I can sit back there in the backyard in the Buddha Lounge and and backyard Buddha Lounge where we will have the tasting parties, which we just had another tasting party again today about of your favorite of the strains. But I want to go back to the story about older and elderly folk that don't want to deal with the dispensary anymore and they're growing their own, because part of it too is the joy of gardening and how, I mean, they talk about how like there are certain chemicals that are released that create endorphins and all these different things, that reactions in your brain that make you feel good when you're digging your fingers through the soil. When the chemicals get underneath your fingernails and you get dirt underneath your fingernails, there's a chemical reaction in your brain that releases good vibes and good. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know I'm not a scientist.
Good
or a doctor.
vibes.
No, but it releases
I getcha.
good chemicals in your brain because of the chemical reactions that are happening in the soil underneath your fingernails, and it's releasing serotonins and all these different things that make you feel good in your brain. It's a natural thing. It's what our bodies were supposed to do, and so I do feel like there's a lot of people who are not only getting happiness from growing their own cannabis in just the state of, or just the act of growing, but also the satisfaction of, again, I've said it throughout this podcast, man, you are never gonna smoke weed better than the weed that you grew from seed. Oh my God, I just rhymed some shit. Oh my God. No, but you are never going to smoke better weed than the weed that you grew from seed. For real.
I feel that.
Because you're so connected to it. You saw it from as you. It's like your kid, and then you cut it down and you dry it and you smoke that kid, and it's the best kid you ever smoked.
See, you have
but you know what I mean? Like it's amazing because you have a connection with it.
You have more of an appreciation for it, right? Like I think. It's not just a generational thing. Like the reason I don't tell my family like why I don't smoke or why I smoke or whatever. Like I don't like broadcast it. But it's also as a Filipino, it's a cultural thing.
That's why we have this podcast.
Yeah, because I grew up in LA. Like I grew up around it, right? Like
you grew up with dealers in your college.
Yeah.
Listen to old podcasts. He tells the stories.
No, but this is it was somewhat normalized here, right?
Sure.
And then like you get Philippines, right? Like you get Filipinos from the Philippines. Not too long ago, if you had weed on you, you could get shot.
Yeah, and now they're legalizing it.
Right?
Now medical marijuana is basically on the move to be legalized in the Philippines.
And I don't know, it's a mess over there. Like
it's a mess over there anyway. They just declared a state of the emergency because they don't have any gas.
Yeah.
So it's a shit show, and
Yeah.
it's but it is, you get what you vote for, and in the same way that we are getting what we vote for, because all of that stuff, all of the stuff that's happening is all a distraction for the fact that this fool is in the Epstein files 36,000 times. And we don't need to get political too crazy, so I will digress from this tirade and this rant, because I could go on a rant if I wanted to, but I'm not going to, because my brain is eased by cannabis. And I easily transition to a grow update from the Buddha Lounge. What's up? You see that nice smooth transition from almost bitching about Trump to transitioning to the Buddha Lounge update?
I think you just nullified it though by like doubling back.
I know, but it's okay. Let's go back. Let's go grow update at the Buddha Lounge. So last we talked about the Buddha Lounge. I was just recovering from the death of like 5 of the 6 plants in one tent. And it was on week 2 of the flowering of that process, and only 1 plant survived.
Just remember, it's not last week. We're doing every.
No, this is like last month.
Like last episode.
Last episode. Did I say last week?
Yeah.
Well, last episode.
Okay.
You can edit any of this out in the session, or you don't. Don't. It doesn't really matter. But we talked about how we were. I had recovered because of the perpetual and always be cloning. Yeah. I remember that's how we closed out the episode of always be cloning, and it's true, and that is something that has been true for the whole time. But now all those clones are now growing, and they're like at week 4 or 5 of flower.
You have a lot of chicken and waffles.
I have 6 plants of chicken and waffles, and I have a few plants of Yoda Nana, and I have 1 limes that I had cloned, and I'm not too sure about that clone because the leaves keep yellowing on the edges, and the leaves are yellowing on the edges even in the clone. So I'm almost thinking I might have cloned the bad mother, and now I might just plant new seeds of the limes, because that limes, like we were saying before, I started talking about the old folks and gardening and how much I love it and how much it's helped me in my life. But like that limes is some of the freshest, most delicious weed I have ever smoked in my life.
It's good. It's a really good batch. Like that's probably one of the. You should have like a Buddha Lounge Hall of Fame. Like you could throw the limes up there. You could throw the Jack up there. As long as you don't call it the.
Oh, by the way, I thought of something to do for another episode. Is I still have some Jack. You want to smoke? It's like now, it's been curing in the fridge for like 6 months now. So I mean that stuff, and there's not a lick of, not a lick of what is it? What's the word?
Mold.
There you go. That's the word. Yeah, there's. I haven't seen mold. I forgot what the fuck it was called. That's how long I haven't seen mold, guys. Because I just had to replace my little mini fridge in the Buddha Lounge that I store all my weed in, because I keep my weed in the fridge, and it stays fresh as hell, and it is delicious, and the flavor stays, and it's wonderful. I keep it in my little mini fridge, and I burned out. This is like the 3rd mini fridge that the Buddha Lounge has burned out, but I got a brand new one, and I will not store my weed in any other way, in any other way, because there's one thing that no matter what strain that I grow, when you first taste that weed, there's one word that I get always, besides, wow, that's really loud when you take it out of the bag. But also, like if you haven't been smelling weed, like I smell weed all the time in the Buddha Lounge, and then if I go somewhere and then I pull that out of a bag, that shit hits your face. It's pretty loud. Mm-hmm. And so then, but also, when they start smoking, they're like, holy cow, that's fresh. Because there's a certain freshness to all the strains because of how I store it.
Yeah, it doesn't have that harsh. It doesn't make you cough as much. Like you'll cough because it's weed, but I mean.
Yeah, you'll cough because your bong hit was so big that you'll cough.
But it doesn't taste like dry or musty or anything like that. No, it
burns a little bit slower. It's really nice, and I have to say, man, I've never and will never smoke better weed than the weed that I grow myself. I'm going to be very snobby about weed at this point, because I have enough of my own that I don't ever have to smoke anybody else's.
Like, I think that's what I've been smoking, I've had the Yoda Nana, the Pluto cookies, the chicken and waffles, the limes.
Yeah, you didn't even start the mango sherbet then, did you?
I started that yesterday.
Okay.
Like, it's still wet.
Yeah, it's still wet, yeah.
Like, I moved it from a glass jar to a different type of container because...
it dries faster.
It dries faster. But pretty much what I've been doing with all your weed is just because I don't have too many containers, and I'd rather have them just like all in one. So like I've been having weed cocktails. Like I know what's what because I could tell by the look and the feel
and the smell.
But like
you just put it all in one big bowl and just
and like I know which one. And like for me, it's a little entertaining.
He's testing himself. That's what it is.
Like it like sometimes the combination, like it'll just be like, oh, I'm mellow, and then sometimes the combination's like, oh, the synergy on this thing is crazy.
I seldom mix, but I've also been rolling a lot of Barrelman. Yeah, I love them. I love them so much because, especially after the One Piece season 2, and all the scenes with Smoker.
Yeah.
I want to do 2 Barrel Men now at a time.
Dude, just have them.
Just have them. And just have a bunch of Barrel Men strapped to my jacket.
I'll pass out again, Eric.
No, but you know, and you know what I really wanted to talk about today?
What's up?
Frenchie.
Oh, you got your tattoo? Yeah, that's right.
Because if you look on our Instagram, you'll see I'm getting a tattoo, and just to explain it, because I have it, I think there's a track that says "If you know, you know," and I tagged Frenchie Cannoli in the video because Frenchie Cannoli is an old hash guy, and I watched a lot of Frenchie Cannoli's videos on YouTube, which are still available now. If you are listening to this and you want to learn how to make hash like Frenchie Cannoli, I just followed the steps of what he did, and he has a very thick French accent, and he's one of the guys who basically taught everyone how to make hash in the cannabis industry. And so I got his logo tattooed on my wrist. So when I smoke a joint or if I smoke anything, you see it, and it's the first thing you see on my wrist when you smoke. But it looks like kind of like a skull also, but it's actually what it is a zoomed in trichome. So there's like one of those little beads at the end of your bud, and it's a zoomed in because that's what he wanted to grab, because all hash is just a bunch of clumped up trichomes, and that's my I got my first weed tattoo.
We get it, Eric. You smoke pot. Shit.
You're listening to the Canna podcast. No, but I got that, and I thought it was I enjoyed that one, but I wanted to mention it on the podcast because it's a cannabis related item. If you know, so if you listen to the podcast or you know that's Frenchie Cannoli's logo, then you know what it is. But if you don't, then it's a skull.
For the longest time, Eric was talking about Frenchie Cannoli, and I was like, "What kind of fucking dessert is that?"
You better show respect, bro. That's the dude that when we smoked that hash that I made, that was because of him, and he taught me how to do that shit. And I haven't even done. Because that'll bring me into another part of the Buddha Lounge update. I cut down those 2 outdoor plants that had been flowering outdoor in the greenhouse, and they're drying right now. It was BBC.
Is it a
Crosswood Vanilla Frost.
Oh, okay.
It was a seedling that wasn't doing well in the tent, but it was big. So I just put it out in the greenhouse, and then it started flowering in the past. It's been flowering for the past 2 months.
Okay.
And so then the crystals on it were pretty much, white. So I just cut it, and then there was another very small chicken and waffles that clone that I just put out there because it wasn't doing well in the thing, but it wasn't dying, so I didn't want to kill it, so I just planted it in one of the pots in the greenhouse, and it did okay. It flowered out, and it's literally like this big, so maybe it'll have an ounce of chicken and waffles, but it was outdoor grown, so it'll be a nice precursor to the clones that I planted out here now in the spring, and we can see what happens, because I know that those are going to be much bigger, and I don't think they're going to flower. They're going to have enough sun to where they're going to kind of stay vegging, through until the fall, because those will probably stay there. I'm hoping that they don't start to flower until after, until August, because then it'll be like your traditional, because it's the spring. So I put them out there in the spring, and hopefully they're just big veg plants, and they stay getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then. But that's the experiment. That's always the figuring out when that is in the greenhouse versus when you can just control it and determine it in the tents.
It's exciting though. It's cool to follow you. Like the thing that I noticed when Eric was showing me the plants today, it's just the amount of clones. That really kind of, I was like, oh, okay, you managed to make a good amount of clones.
Well, and also, bro, I want to save my seeds because cannabis and CBD, and like we talked about in the last episode, it's still in question and will be in question until and if ever a president and or a Congress and or part of this government decides to get their act together and legalizes this plant, because it could be the driving force, maybe not the only answer, but one of the answers in, I mean, there's so many things that hemp can, it was one of the things that are the people who came here over in Europe when they were colonizing this part of the country, or when they were colonizing America, it was something that farmers were supposed to grow it. They had to grow it. They had to sign contracts to make sure that they grew a certain number of hemp plants, because they use it in so many things, from the cotton, from the fabric that you can make from hemp, the hempcrete, which is highly unflammable and a lot lighter than concrete. All the different things that this plant can help and solve in our economy, if only we would stop listening to a handful of white dudes who were paid by a guy who owned a paper mill on the West Coast and didn't want to lose out on logging from all the paper that was made from hemp versus the paper that he was making from wood.
It's more sustainable. It's definitely more sustainable, because like hemp, like the crops grow back every what? Like
even hemp oil. Like there's so many things that can be done with these plants that we can use in our economy to substitute other things that are hurting us. And I'm not saying that cannabis is the end-all be-all to everything, but it can be a big part of a green economy where we're people like us are not on the outskirts, but a big part of an economy that's flourishing with, like I said, like you said, a very sustainable resource.
Yeah, it could definitely,
and it has so many different uses.
Yeah, it could definitely provide jobs for people. And I've had hemp clothing. It's not bad. I
like it. I feel like it's just as soft as some of the nicest cotton that I've had, because I will buy an expensive T-shirt now and again and feel the difference, but yeah, the hemp T-shirts are nice. They're fine. And hemp pants are some of the most breathable pants I've ever. They are nice. They are comfortable. Because I have a pair of hemp yoga pants that I used to wear when I would do what's it called? That
Pilates.
Hot yoga. I didn't do Pilates. when I would do hot yoga, I don't want to call it Bikram yoga because the guy Bikram was weirdo. Yeah. But yeah, no, I used to do hot yoga and wear those hemp pants, and they would soak up the sweat real good, and they were almost like dry fit, but it was hemp. It was great, and I feel like they will do some shit with this hemp fabric and make it even more comfortable than before if they use it. I'm saying, man, I'm just another pothead who thinks that weed can solve a lot of other world's problems. But when you look at the studies and you look at all the different things that are happening with cannabis and all the different things, all the medical discoveries that they are finding out about this plant, when they further study the endocannabinoid system and the effects of cannabis and all the different cannabinoids, whether it's THC or THCA or all the other different compounds that are in this plant, they unlock a lot of possibilities, man. Because it's been it's been a medicine since there were Chinese emperors, right? Wasn't there a Chinese emperor who was buried with a whole bunch of weed?
Yeah,
That's how I want to go too.
I think there was something recently about cavemen. They found pipes.
And also they talk about psilocybin with cavemen and how it expanded our cerebral cortex. Yeah. And those that ate the mushrooms evolved into humans, and the ones that didn't stayed cavemen. So I am not a caveman. I am a human with a big cerebral cortex.
You tell yourself that, Eric. That's Eric's daily affirmation.
No, it's my. I'm trying to expand my cerebral cortex and take advantage of this high as much as possible.
All right, folks. If you want to keep up with all the stuff we've been talking about, please follow us on Instagram at Canna Kuyas. That's CANNAKUYAS.
Thank you for spelling it out loud instead of having me do it.
It's fine. It's okay. I got you.
He knows my drawbacks. We've been doing this for a minute.
Eric has stage fright.
No, but look forward to. I am going to be reaching out to people, so look for my DMs from Canna Kuyas, because I want to have some new guests and have some guests on and take advantage of this StreamYard subscription I've been paying for. So.
All right, you've been listening to the Canna Kuya podcast, where we are cultivating conversations concerning cannabis, culture, and creativity. I'm Mitch Narito.
And I am Eric Esteban.
And to all our marijuana ates and Canna Kuyas, stay lifted.
Stay elevated.
Whoa.
Peace, y'all.
Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.
Yeah.
Please, peace.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I got my hoodie on, now peep the chest, that's human catalyst. Downtown Chula Vista, on 3rd Ave where I go cop some shit. Fuck a thief, so fuck zoomies, yeah, they whack ass jacket shit. Yeah, I move too swift, so I strike in silence. Fuck the violence, man, check my mileage, cause I got driving. First tour, I drove 6 states, never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, build an enterprise, move supersize. Y'all extra like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize, yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too dope, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.
Gang, highest in the room, yo, we get fucked up. Ay, you can count on Trey, Cap, bring the loud pack. Ay, get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run. Yeah, get the up or leave the fuck a Folgers. Little bitch, I made the beat and dropped the full verse. I just hit a steelo, I got dripped up. Package born and raised, bitch, I got dripped up. Y no se compara. Yo estoy con mi pana, se llama Trega, fumando ganja. Estamos con Cali, fumando en Cali, yo sé que traen ganas. Ella me dice, papi, que terminamos la cama. Highest in the room, yeah, we get fucked up. Ay, you can count on Trey, Cap, bring the loud pack. Ay, get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run.
Yeah, we got hits like Tatis and Machado, man, we know you're not a leader. Cause all our moves you just follow, packing big bowls. You know we just scooped up that gelato. Cause I smoke killer, my shirt iller. Yo, ask our dealer, we the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too dope, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I rarely rock designer.